Deep in the heart of Ghana, where the sun sets in a blaze of orange and gold, legends whisper of a clever trickster, a Spider-Man known to all as Anansi. Tonight, we journey with him to discover a story of magic, mischief, and a very special drum. Everyone in the village knew Anansi. They knew him for his brilliant ideas, his quick wit, and his knack for weaving the most wonderful tales. But they also knew him for his mischievous streak, a playful habit that sometimes, just sometimes, landed him in a bit of trouble. Anansi loved being the center of attention, and he was always dreaming up a new plan, a new trick, a new way to impress his neighbors, and be celebrated as the smartest one of all. He was clever, yes, but his heart was often ruled by a desire for praise and a touch of vanity. He'd watch the villagers from his favorite perch on a high branch, spinning not just webs, but grand schemes in his mind, always waiting for the perfect opportunity to show off his cunning. And soon, an opportunity greater than any before would present itself. One season, a quiet sadness fell over the village. The rains had been shy, the yams were small, and the laughter that usually filled the air had grown soft. The elders gathered, their faces etched with worry, speaking in hushed tones about the spirits of the land. They felt the spirits were displeased, and the blessings of the earth had been withheld. The children no longer played with the same energy, and the storerooms, usually overflowing with harvest bounty, were looking sparse. Desperation began to creep into the hearts of the people. They held ceremonies offering prayers and songs, hoping to coax the joy and abundance back into their lives. Seeing this, a familiar thought sparked in Anansi's mind. What if he, could be the one to solve this problem? Imagine the praise, the songs they would sing in his name. His desire to help was mixed with a stronger desire to be hailed as the village hero. With this grand ambition fueling his journey, Anansi decided he must seek help from the highest power he knew, Naim, the great sky god who held all the wisdom of the world. He spun a single shimmering thread of silk that reached all the way from the earth to the heavens, and he began his long climb. The air grew thin and cool as he ascended a path made of clouds and starlight. Finally, he arrived at Naim's celestial court. Before the mighty sky god, Anansi made his plea, speaking of his village's plight. Naim, seeing the flicker of selfishness in Anansi's heart, but also a chance for a valuable lesson, presented him with a beautifully carved drum. This is the magic drum. Niam's voice rumbled like gentle thunder. Its rhythm can summon joyful spirits and call forth the blessings of the land. Use it wisely, Anansi, for its power is meant for all. Anansi's heart leaped with excitement. He thanked Niam, but he was already thinking of the glory that awaited him below. Back in the village, Anansi couldn't wait to try his new treasure. He sat in the center of the market square, the magic drum resting before him. He tapped a simple, tentative beat. Instantly the air shimmered with a second, stronger rhythm. Ripe mangoes and plump bananas began to appear on the trees. He drummed faster, and a feast of fufu and stew materialized on woven mats, enough for everyone. The villagers gasped in amazement, their eyes wide with disbelief and joy. Laughter erupted as children danced to the drum's enchanting beat. With every tap, every thump, every rolling rhythm Anansi played, wonders filled the village. The wells filled with fresh water, the fields turned green and vibrant, and the spirits of joy and celebration, long absent, returned to dance among the people. Anansi was a hero, just as he had dreamed. But as the days went on, a shadow began to creep into Anansi's heart. The praise he received was intoxicating, and he started to think, why should I share this magic? I'm the one who climbed to the sky. The drum is mine. He began to play the drum in secret, hidden away in his hut. While the villagers wondered why the magic had ceased, Anansi was surrounded by piles of delicious fruits, fine fabrics, and shiny trinkets, all for himself. He grew plump and lazy, hoarding the blessings that were meant for everyone. His web, once a work of art, became a messy fortress to protect his stolen treasures. The more he had, the more he wanted, and the beautiful music of the drum was now played only for his own selfish gain. The joy it once created for the community now served only his greed. One evening, as Anansi greedily beat the drum for a mountain of his favorite sweet cakes, something went wrong. The drum began to glow with an angry red light. The rhythm he played, once joyful, now sounded harsh and chaotic. Instead of blessings, the drum summoned wild, angry spirits. Thorny vines erupted from the ground, tangling everything in his hut. Swarms of buzzing insects filled the air, and the sweet cakes turned to dust and ash. The magic, twisted by his selfishness, had turned against him. The drum throbbed violently, its power spiraling out of control, reflecting the ugliness that had grown in his heart. The chaos spilled out of his hut and into the village, causing fear and confusion. Anansi, terrified, realized the terrible mistake he had made. The magic wasn't his to control. It was a gift to be shared. Shaking with regret, Anansi stumbled out of his ruined hut, clutching the now silent drum. He saw the frightened faces of his neighbors, and knew he had to make things right. Humbly, he walked to the center of the village and confessed everything. He spoke of his journey, his pride, and the greed that had poisoned the drum's magic. He placed the drum on the ground, not as his possession, but as a gift for everyone. Then, looking up at the sky, he called out to Naim, asking for forgiveness. He invited a small child to tap the drum. A soft, gentle beat echoed through the village. As others joined in, creating a rhythm of unity and sharing, a calm, warm light emanated from the drum. The thorny vines receded, the angry spirits softened and faded away, and a gentle, peaceful magic settled over the land once more. In the end, Anansi learned a lesson far more valuable than any treasure. The village, now understanding the drum's true purpose, used it together. On special occasions, they would gather and play, and the drum would provide just enough for a joyful celebration, a shared feast for all. Anansi, no longer seeking to be the greatest, found a different kind of happiness in sharing and community. He was still clever, and still a bit of a trickster, but his heart was now a little wiser and a lot bigger. The story of Anansi and the magic drum became a favorite tale, a reminder passed down through generations that joy, like music, is sweetest when it's shared. True wealth isn't what you keep for yourself, but what you give to others. Greed only leads to trouble, but generosity makes the whole world bloom. Thank you for joining us for this tale from Ghana. We hope the story of Anansi has brought a little magic to your day. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fairy tale fables and enchanting bedtime stories from around the world. We'll see you next time.